Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with BBQ Champs Academy, and we've got a great show lined up for you tonight. Mr. Aaron Lesley with Texas Oil Dust, Mr. Jamie Robey with Texas Smoke, coming off two big weekends for both of these guys, and we felt like we needed to get them on. We was trying to get a couple other ones on that's been doing really well. Rick Mel had a huge outing over in Fort Worth this past weekend, him and Vinny. And trying to get Rick on, but Rick could not make it, so he had to work a double so he could take off and go play on Friday over in Terrell, Texas. So we're going to try to get him on at another time. But hopefully everybody's having a really good week. We've had some great weather down here in Louisiana for the last couple weeks. It's been beautiful. And we are getting ready to go to a competition ourselves. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. In the meantime, as you're rolling in, let's see who's here and where you are from. So we've got Mr. Tom. Good evening. How are you doing today? Mr. Gordon from Cleveland. Lucas, I know where Lucas is from. He says good morning. So you know he is from the land down under. Glad to have you with us, Lucas. I haven't seen you in a while. And glad to have you on our show again. Mr. John, thank you. In the low 30s here. He is up in the frozen tundra of Wisconsin. And glad to have him on tonight, Darian. Thank you. And if I recall, I think I saw you got a reserve grand champion this past week. So congratulations to you, sir. And Kenneth Steele. How about that? Somebody got the same last name as me. Glad to have you with us tonight, Kenneth. Appreciate you being here all the way from Navasota, Texas. Great little place over there. And going to give folks a few more minutes to come in. We've got about 13 on now, and hopefully a few more will start here. Here comes another one. Randall, appreciate you being here. And Mark, let's see. Mike, gosh dang, that's good steel. From communist-occupied Austin, Texas. Yes, it is definitely getting overrun down there. That is for sure. So, goodness gracious. Who else we got? George. Let's see. Beautiful day in West Virginia. Glad to have you with us, George. Appreciate you being here. Mr. Danny Titus, hello, sir. And we will see you in Marksville. Yes, I am going to be making the trek down to Marksville, Louisiana, one of our favorite competitions to go to. As of right now, they've got about 47 teams. There could be some more showing up, so we hope that that's going to be a good turnout. It's always great to be down in Marksville, Louisiana. We never know what the judges want down there. It is a complete crapshoot, so it's one of the most inconsistent cooks that I've ever went to. So, but we love it. It's at a beautiful RV park down back behind the Paragon Casino. They've got a beautiful RV park back there, and we're going to go down. We're going to try to go tomorrow, but just couldn't get everything done, and I'm going to leave out on Thursday morning. So anyway, we're looking forward to it, Danny. We'll see you there Thursday. Try to get there definitely before lunch so we can head over to Stevens and go eat. Yes, sir, Darren. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Justin, man, I have been watching you practice. I would imagine you probably have done at least 10 practices by now. Your chicken legs look absolutely amazing every time that you cook them. I think you're rolling out for the first cook-off of the year. And we certainly want to wish you good luck. Please give us a shout out and let us know how you do. Marcio, my friend, how are you doing, sir? Glad to have you with us tonight, Serge. Thank you for being with us tonight as well. Let's see. There we go. I was hoping that you was going to be on here, Amy. Now, here's what you need to do. You need to tell Tracy that all her negative saying and all that stuff that y'all wasn't going to get no more grand champions. I mean, the first thing I saw on Sunday was Crooked Crown Cookers got another grand champion. And I was like, man, I bet you Amy is jumping up and down. Congratulations, ladies. We're so happy for you. And, you know, the first one is the hardest. And then once you get past that first one, they tend to seem to roll a little bit better. So congratulations to you. Tell Tracy that, you know, look, if she don't want to cook no more, you're still going to do it. And she ain't got no choice. She's going to have to cook with you anyway. So she don't have no choice. But congratulations. Mark, thank you for being with us tonight. Bobby Stewart, come on, buddy? What's up? Yep, I wished I could go to the Texas Jubilee in Terrell. We absolutely love that competition. For 4 straight years now, it's fallen on the same weekend as Marksville, and I love both of them, but I kind of like the Marksville cook-off, and I think next year it's getting off of its cycle. I think it has something to do with how many Sundays are in the month. They're falling on the same weekend. And Laura Blunt told me this about 3 years ago, and she said it'll go through the cycle and then it'll get off to where Terrell will be the week after Marksville. We're looking forward to it, but good luck if you're going over there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure there'll be at least 60 or 70 teams. Let's see. Thanks, Mike. Yes, this weekend is my first competition. Well, man, you have practiced a lot, and you should do very well. So let's see. Thank you. A little louder. Yes, 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 yes. Absolutely. So, oh, goodness gracious. Let's see if we got any more folks coming on. As you roll in here, if you would, let us know that you're here. Got a light crowd tonight. Don't know where everybody's at. But they will steadily keep rolling in. Aaron's kind of working on getting his signal straight. I'm seeing a pretty clear picture right now. Aaron has rebooted the Wi-Fi. He's changed the Wi-Fi. He's kicked the stuff off the background. He's put salt and pepper on it. So I think he's getting it there. I'm sitting here watching him adjust his camera. So and he'll get it fixed up. All it takes is a little of that Texas oil dust finishing dust, and put some sauce on it. It'll work. So we'll get it. Keep on, Aaron. It's getting better, buddy. Stephen, here's another one that had a good cook-off over in Fort Worth, Texas. Had a huge first-place chicken call. I think it was about 70 teams. And Stephen did an amazing job over there. We certainly do appreciate the shout-outs from him. He's been absolutely killing it. And I wanted to reach out to you, Stephen, but I know the last time I did, a lot of times you can't get off in time. Now here you are. I wished I had known it. We would have got you in here tonight. So anyway, but congratulations. And I hope I'm assuming you're going to go to the Terrell Cook-Off since it's so close to Fort Worth. You're on a roll. Keep it rolling. Let's see who else we got here. Jeffrey, how you doing tonight, sir? Got a few folks steadily coming in. And we are definitely looking forward to tonight's show. You're still working. He's working and watching the show at the same time. That is a dedicated person right there. We appreciate you being on. So, all right, Aaron, let's see. Move around. I think we got you going good, Aaron. Yeah, he's still trying to get that camera position. We're going to give Aaron another minute or two. So, I'm sure now he's done worked so hard, he's probably got to go get a new solo cup and refresh his drinks. Anyway, let's see who else we got. Joshua, thank you for being here tonight. How are you doing? And I'm looking forward to our show tonight. It's been a lot of fun doing these. I think we're coming up on our 3-year anniversary of doing them. And we really do appreciate all of our listeners. We try to mix it up between barbecue and steak. I haven't had any of the steak guys on in probably a month or so, and I've got to reach out to some of those. But man, we just had so many barbecue competitions that are huge events going on, and we've been trying to catch some of those. So anyway, it looks like Aaron's just about to get settled. Aaron, if you're about ready, man, give me a thumbs up. And he's getting there. So let's see, what cook-off is near Fort Worth this weekend? I'm flying in on Saturday. Well, they've got a cook-off in Terrell, Texas. It's probably 35 miles from Fort Worth, maybe 40 miles from Fort Worth. Big, huge competition. They've got a big carnival that goes on there. They'll probably have 60 to 70 teams, and it's a fun little cook-off. If you want to find the information on it, Gordon, you can go to Outlaw Barbecue Association, and it's the Terrell Jubilee is where it's at. It's at a little park, and it is a fun event to go to. So we're looking forward to going back next year. Let's see what else. Hey, Mike, just wanted to tell you that Bill Purvis' class was worth every penny. The man is a badass. So thank you, Mark. He has definitely been rolling. I cannot tell you how many people in the forum. We got a private Facebook page, and it was lit up with people that had tons of top 10 calls, grand champions. I think there was one guy who got a grand or reserve his first competition getting out. And it is really, really great to see the success that our cookers are having. I was overwhelmed. I know there was at least 7 or 8 people that posted the results this past weekend, and they just did absolutely outstanding with Bill's class. So, Mark, thank you. I appreciate it. And I know Bill does too. We appreciate the shout outs. That kind of helps keep our name rolling, and I know Bill certainly appreciates it as well. So let's see. I'm ready for another class giveaway. Yep. We didn't do one tonight. We'll have to come up with some trivia here for one maybe next weekend. I want to thank all of our partners, Prairie Fresh, Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop, Texas Select Seasoning. Couldn't do what we do without those guys. Mr. Gunnar Wilhelm, David with some awesome knives, Dustin Stanley at the barbecue store. And last but not least, Daigle's Barbecue sauces and glazes. They've got some outstanding products. Absolutely love Miss Gail. Well, let's get started. I think we got Dustin. We've got Aaron all set up now. He looks like he's comfortable. His solo cup's full. So we're going to start bringing these guys in. Aaron, brother, how are you doing?
Good, Mike.
That's
I
good.
haven't had a solo cup. I got a Miller Lite.
You got a
So
Miller
we're gonna have
Lite. There you go.
to and let the whiskey in the trailer.
That's it. That's it. Well, man, we got you coming in loud and clear now. So he changed about 4 different things. He was determined to get it to working, but he got it to work. So glad to have you here, Aaron. We do appreciate it.
I appreciate
Man,
it.
you have been on absolute fire. We want to talk a little bit about that here in just a minute. Next up, we got this man right here. He has been doing pretty dadgum well himself, Mr. Jamie Robey with Texas Smoke. How are you doing, Jamie?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing good. I can't complain. Cook-off weekend is upon us, getting everything prepped. I don't know. I always get excited for the competition. So, especially this time of the year. I don't know how you guys feel, but man, I love the springtime and the fall. It's fun. It sure beats them 100-degree days out there cooking.
That's right.
Anyway, Jamie, you came off a huge weekend this past weekend. Big grand champion, first place chicken, first place rib, second place brisket. Man, I know that had to make you feel good. Have you ever done the hat trick before?
I did. Here in my little hometown of Cold Spring, kind of got invited to go to their little non-sanctioned event, and I just showed up and did my thing, and they only called out first place
Yeah.
in each category, and I was asked not to come back. So
Okay.
I was starting to get that feeling the other day down south, but thank God for that second place brisket rather than the.
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Bill says he loves good-looking shirt you got
How
on
about that?
there.
I,
How
I,
about
I got
that?
written permission to wear this tonight.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, Jamie, tell us a little bit about Texas Smoke and Mr. Jamie. How'd you get started in all this barbecue nonsense?
This was it involved beer at first. Yeah,
Aaron, going to drink one for her, buddy.
how many things
I'll drink one for you.
get started with beer, but I used to live at the deer lease, and one Sunday I showed up out there, and there were a few fellers out there. They were talking, and said, "Hey man, you want to get on a cook-off team with us?" I said, "What is that?" They said, "Well, we drink some beer and cook some food." I said, "Yeah, count me in." And I said, "Y'all got a pit?" And they said, "No." And I said, "Y'all got recipes or sponsors or anything?" "No." Well, okay. Well, it's not going anywhere quick. So, long story short, it kind of lit a fire in my head to investigate this, and that's what we started doing. And my wife and I found that that's something we can do together, but
Yeah.
separate, because Tammy's her own team, the Wine a Bit,
Yeah.
and does well. So it's something we've done for the last 10, 12 years that we do together rather than separately.
Right.
Started in the deer woods over a beer, and here we are today.
Yeah. So when did you start? About 10 years ago? 10, 12 years ago?
Yeah, around 2010 we started doing that. Back then it was all about the fun, and
Yeah.
take 3 coolers full of beer and 2 racks of ribs. And now a cooler full of ribs and no beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we've been at it a while. We looked at each other once while we're sitting in the trailer, saying, "Losing sucks. Let's do something about this."
Right.
Started becoming students of the process, and
Yeah. Yeah.
started
Yeah.
proving.
Yeah, y'all definitely stepped up your game the last 3 or 4 years. That's for sure, man. Y'all have been killing it. So, do you get nervous when she's cooking next to you?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we've got a big trailer, but sometimes it's not big enough.
Right.
You know, she's on her side and I'm on my side, and I'm trying to get a glimpse of what she's doing. And
Do you ever try to sabotage your stuff a little bit?
no, no,
Okay.
we're completely comfortable with that. I love seeing her win
Yeah.
because there's nobody more excited than Tammy when she gets a call.
Oh, I know it. It is so
Yeah,
fun.
to the 10th and the 10th, and she is just flipping. So
Yeah, yeah.
she's fun. But
She is
yeah,
definitely
I
a
say
sweetheart.
it's progressed for us from just the event to this is what we do now. You know, I
Right.
don't hunt, I don't fish, I don't golf, I don't boat. You know, we go cook somewhere
Yep.
about every weekend. Yeah,
How many?
we've always said that if you want to get better, you got to go.
Yeah.
You can't get any better if you sit at home thinking about it. So we've always said the folks that win a lot cook a lot. You know, look at Aaron there.
Yeah.
He's cooked so much. He's won it all. So
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
not even close, man.
Yeah. Aaron's one
Not
of
even close.
Aaron's one of them guys that how many weekends you cook? I don't know this year. 57. You know, there's only 50 there's only 52 weeks in a year. I don't had a lot of doubles. Like,
The question to ask is how many did you not cook?
yeah,
yeah.
That's a whole lot smaller number, you know.
Yeah,
when,
that's for sure.
when I try to take a weekend off, I sit here and watch it on Facebook, going, "Oh, I could have been there."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know it.
So
I
it
know it.
becomes what you do. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
We don't split this hobby up amongst other things. This is what we want to get better at.
Right. How many competitions do you typically cook, Jamie? On a year.
Well, like I say, it's been last year and this year. It's not been every weekend, but it's been almost every weekend.
Almost every weekend. Wow.
Fortunate enough to stay at it as as long as I'm healthy and
Right.
can afford the meats and stuff. I'm looking at Darren Thuman's. I'm gonna have to explain that poke the chicken comment.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Darren's a good friend of mine. We enjoy seeing each other at the cook-offs. He got a really good call at Tomball, the War Pig cook-off.
Mhm.
Good chicken call. But we had talked earlier in the day about that blood that you find in the thigh, and I said, don't you ever take your temperature probe, kind of poke back behind the leg and bust that vein? No, I don't think so. I said, well, poke the chicken, see how that works for you. Sure enough, he was up there getting a big chicken call, and I was giving him the old poke the chicken gesture.
That's hilarious.
So this past weekend, I was asking if he because he got second chicken.
Yeah.
You know,
That's funny.
poke the chicken.
That's funny. Yeah, Kenneth, what did he say last? Like me this weekend, I wanted to cook so bad. Yep. Well, you know, I'm like you. I want to go cook, but I couldn't go cook. You know, and it's just one of them deals. Like, I'm ready to get back out, and I think you do get better. You know, I wish we had more competitions closer to South. You know, I'm up in Northwest Louisiana, and man, we got to just travel so deadgum far. And Aaron would go, travel far. He'd be like Lee Hickle. What do you mean? You only got to drive 5 hours. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Just a couple miles, man.
Yeah, it's just a couple of miles. Yeah, just go. What are you doing? And I'm like going, Mama don't want to drive that far. So
A few miles
anyway,
that way.
yeah, that's it. So I don't know. We do probably 18 competitions a year. So I wish we had more that was around us, but you know, I don't mind 250 miles. That's kind of my max. I don't mind driving as much, but I still got to get back, get to work, get everything else done. So it's just kind of hard too at times. In the fall, it's not so bad, but
Well, we spent several years we put it like an hour was our limit, an hour away, but that's out the window now.
yeah,
We got the truck and trailer, we can do it.
yeah.
2 hours, 3 hours. I've gone to South. Well, we hauled to Kansas this last year. That was
Oh yeah, that was the trek there, no doubt. So
one-time bucket list thing there.
yeah.
So if we make that one, I can make a 5-hour drive.
That's right. That's right.
That's just a quick day drive, man.
Yeah, Aaron's like, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
So Aaron will be driving there. Where you going? I'm going to Colorado. Like, we're going to what? Colorado? Where you going? I'm going to New Mexico. I was like, good Lord, man. They got a ton of cook-offs in Texas. Yeah, I'll catch them on the way back.
Remember that time we all went to Wyoming? That was like 18, 19
Oh
hours,
my
something like that.
God! Yes, I remember
That
that.
was a
So
2 day. That was a 2 day drive.
just it was a 2 day. I hope so.
Yeah, we split it up. Thursday afternoon, drove in Friday evening. So
Oh my gosh, that's a long haul. Well, Aaron, buddy, let's talk a little bit about your huge weekend that you had, man. First of all, you have just been on absolute fire. So I've lost count, but I've got to say it's probably somewhere around 3 or 4 RGCs and a GC somewhere in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 cook-offs. Am I close?
yeah, I think the last 3 have been reserves. Rattlesnake Roundup was a GC, and then reserved Levelland and reserved this past weekend, and got to reserve the San Angelo Rodeo. So it's kind of I mean, it's nice to be on that roll. It's kind of nice to have that feeling, that confidence going behind you.
Yeah.
You last year played around a lot. I drove a lot, spent a lot of money trying to find new recipes, new flavors, something nobody's got. Because like me and Phil were talking this weekend, it's kind of when we give classes, people start to get the recipes. They start to get the flavor profile. So you do 10 classes, and if those guys talk to 5 other guys or 10 other guys, well then now you got 20 guys that have a similar profile. So sometimes it's difficult because you got to cook it right. But so I spent a lot of time last year, working on certain meats and leaving certain meats alone. Like chicken was kind of a hit or miss, but ribs, pork, and brisket were on fire. And then all of a sudden, it's like chicken came in the game and something else fell off. So I spent a lot of time and miles trying to figure out different recipes. And so when I came into the new season, let's just say CBA is December 1st. So I'm going to consider December 1st the new season for everything. It was a matter of trying to buckle down and find what worked and just stick with that one same program.
Right.
Consistency, but also you got to have confidence.
Yeah.
If you don't have confidence, you don't have a game. And if you don't have a game plan, you don't have a win. So it's kind of
Yeah.
it's right there, kiss your sister award kind of thing. But
Right.
I'm just trying to be consistent now with what I know that I practiced with last year, what was winning, what was not winning, and trying to go back to the basics. So
Yeah. Do you keep good notes with everything you do on all your competitions and stuff?
I do. So if I try a new recipe, I put it in my notepad on my phone.
Yeah.
And I will come back to that recipe again and again and again, unless it's something that I already have done in the past, and I'll know, like say Waco. I knew what I ran last year, day 1, day 2, and so day 2's recipe was a little better recipe, so it got me a first place bird last year. So this year, going into that, I already knew that because of repetition and being there before, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. Now, if chicken didn't walk, I was like 12th or 14th chicken on day 1. But my pork and my brisket and my ribs carried me over. So
Right.
that in the point score and all that stuff. So day 2, I was like, you know what, I'm going to back it up a little bit and just not be quite so out there with it. And chicken came in clutch, and ribs decided to pull a back seat to something. But that
Right.
first place pork and the brisket. So yeah, I mean I do keep my notes. My brisket stays the same.
Yeah.
I've been running the same brisket now with a few minor tweaks for the last 4 years.
Yeah. I have too.
So I'm not going to change that recipe. It's just a tweak here and a tweak there, right? Move something over and not take away from something. But chicken, chicken is that one category that all of us struggle in sometimes.
Yeah.
We'll go on a 5 or 6 week run, then we'll miss a few weeks. But I think trying to be consistent on that is good. But, your pork, I tried to be consistent, ran the same pork both days, and it paid off for second and a first. And so yeah, I mean I keep good notes, but I run the same recipe on ribs and pork, and then the same in brisket. So chicken's the one that I really got to kind of keep the good notes on.
Yeah. Chicken, man. I've heard a lot of people. I've been consistent with it. I've been consistently at the bottom. So, I mean, it's just as hard. Now, I want you to think about this. It's just as hard to get a 10th place chicken as it is a first place chicken, right?
It is.
I've had a 14th place chicken. I had a 10th place, which they pay a top 15. Okay, so they called 15. So I was one up from it. All right, I was 14th, which I was very thankful for that because it put us in a 3-way tie for the one down in Bow Bridge, and I got reserve. One more number, and I would have got RG. I mean, I would have got grand. Then I go to my next competition, 10th place chicken. I was like, okay, got a 10th. Here we go. I go to my next competition. I tweak that recipe. I put a little bit more, take some of the flavor out, make it a little smoother. Think I'm changing it up. I'm sitting there, man. I got high hopes. It was a good bird. Everything was great. All right, let's start with chicken. 863-292. And I was just sitting there looking at that ticket like, please tell me I didn't read that number, 863-292. Yep, 10th place chickens. I was like, come on, man, you got to be kidding. I mean, it's right there. It's just like, you already know, man, with you start getting, Adam Gotro and Brady and Jerry Valley and Damon and all those guys from South Louisiana up here, man, you ain't gonna cut it with the 10th place chicken. So anyway,
it's been 3 minutes, so fuck all that. So here we. I mean, I have a 3-minute rule. You got to drop the F-bomb every 3 minutes, or everybody starts to lose track. No, that's I will say this. Barbecue is very humbling, and it's a very good sport, and it's a very wishy-washy. Hit one weekend, hit the next. Usually, most guys that GC one weekend or reserve are going to come right back and do it again the next weekend. I mean, not to say you're on opposite sides of the state, but you're on that roll, and it may just be the flavor for that time and temperature, and it may just be what you got. But most guys will come in and hit 2 or 3 kind of quick, and then it kind of tapers back a little bit. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We'll see what goes on, and I'm just trying to be consistent. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to run the same game plan week in, week out, and we're going to go. I have a plan, and I'm trying to stay with that without changing things up. I've been running the same chicken now since 1st of December. I think I've got most of them all are top 3 calls, except this past weekend, and maybe a few other ones, and I don't want that to change. So I mean, it's been ever since I got that 200 score in Louisiana. It's been a big walk chicken for me, so I'm going to stay with that. And ribs have been tweaking a little bit, trying to play with it. Got some new stuff going on. Got some new rubs I've been playing with, so it's kind of the profile wise. So yeah, I mean it's definitely tough to stay there, but once you find it, you don't share it with nobody. You should do all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you tell everybody what you got going on, that's when you kind of like
you got to try something else. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Jamie, what about you, man? Do you keep a lot of notes on your comps, or how do you roll?
Not until lately. I found it's beneficial to kind of what I do there last year. I'm going to back up to what Aaron was saying a minute ago about being on a 2 or 3 event roll. This coming weekend, I'm perfectly happy with finishing 3rd, because the tradition at Cook-Off we're going to is the reserve and Grand have to jump in the pool.
Oh yeah, I've done that before. Let's see that trophy right back there. Yeah, it was in November.
Yeah,
and it was the second one I had. It was one of them deals. I don't know if anybody's ever won Marksville in November 2 times, and I had won it in 2018, and then I ended up winning it again in 2019 or 2020, and I told my father-in-law, he was next to me, and I said, if I grand champion this thing, I'm gonna go jump in the pool. So. It was freaking cold, but I was so dadgum excited. So yeah, go on. It's fine. Hey, look, let me tell you, water's perfect right now. It's probably right now. I've tested a couple of them this past week, about 63, 64 degrees. Man, you're good. Just go on head first.
Just take a towel and a blanket, Jamie.
That's it. That's all you got to do, brother.
But it's just not pretty when I go in the pool.
It's all right.
Yeah. So Sag Miller started that several years back. So when I won it last year, he said, "You got to jump in the pool." I said, "I'm not getting in the pool." He said, "I'm throwing you in."
Jason was there when I jumped in the pool.
Yeah.
And I guess I started that because all of a sudden I started seeing other people jumping in the damn pool. So yeah. Go on, you're good. Just dive in. Just kick the shoes off. Take the phone out.
You only live once, Jamie.
That's right, man.
You'll remember that. You'll remember that day.
That's right.
Make it better. That earlier Jamie said something about poking the chicken, and I tell everybody, man, if you don't, I break the leg, so I
do too.
Pop that socket.
Crack it. That's what I do.
But when I hit I get about 140 degrees, give or take, I start doing about a jacquard on that back vein there, just so I don't have any. I'm not going to take a chance of something like that being stupid and give me a bad call. So
right,
you gotta pop it a few times, and you'll see it too. You'll see that what they call it myoglobin. You'll see that stuff come out there, a little juice, and you'll be glad you did.
So when you take that technique and turn it into a gesture that only 2 or 3 people in the crowd know what it means, then it's it's gone there. So
Yeah, 39 know about it right now.
Yeah, it's a definite must.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Oh goodness. Hey, if anybody has any questions for either Aaron or Jamie, feel free to drop them in the chat. They may or may not choose to answer. So they've already done gave you the one tip of the night. Poke the leg. So poke the leg. I'm like Aaron. I crack it, man. I'll get that thing. And yeah, it's broke. I'll have that leg about halfway over the thigh when I do it. Right when I trim it. So yeah, that baby's broke. So.
now I say,
Yeah.
I was going to mention, Kenneth Steele mentioned on the feed here a little while ago that he wanted to cook, but he did one of the sharpest things I've seen a lot of people do. And he just came to observe. Sometimes you just take a weekend off from cooking, go volunteer to help the head judges, see what's going on back there in the back.
Yep.
Tammy and I took a year off from cooking and helped the head judges. And that opened our eyes to a lot of things.
Yeah.
How it works, how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
If I was to give anybody any advice, one of the best things I ever did was go put the pit down and go back there and help.
Judge.
And
Yeah.
I think every competition cook should spend some time back there.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just helping the people that's running the thing.
Yeah. Did you judge or did you just help them?
Oh, we were helping. We eat every now and then. We'd take a bite of top 2 or 3, to see what it was like.
Right.
Yeah. So that helped us a great deal. But Kenneth I hope he got some good tips out of being back there with him last weekend.
Right. Let's see. If Aaron can drive to Canton, he can drive to Terrell. Yeah. I was there one time and he shows up in Longview, Texas. I'm like, what the heck? Would you drive like 14 hours to get here? And you're like, oh no, it wasn't 14. It was only 8. It was only 8 hours. I was like, good Lord, man, leave me alone. You're in my neighborhood now. Get away. That was, I guess, in 2017 or had been 2017. 19. That's right. That's right. Because
that was 2 firsts and a second.
Yeah.
And that's when old Sherry looked at me. He said, "You're on my radar now." I was like, "Oh, yeah. Come on, Craig."
Come on. Yeah.
I mean, and I tell you, that year we were chasing points, and I was number 2 in IBCA, and Sag Builder was right there on it, and Lee was slowly getting ahead because he was a lot closer to what he had to go to, and
right.
And so I mean I was confident. I knew what I was running. It didn't matter what I did. I was just running the same recipes. I was happy. I was
right.
I had a little ego, but at the same time, it's not ego. It's confidence.
Yeah, you got to have confidence.
People mix the two. They shake the two up. You're not arrogant, but sometimes confidence in one guy is a little more louder than it is in somebody else. But if you don't have that confidence to do what you're doing, you go in there second guessing yourself. Not knowing what you're going to run, and you don't have a game plan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hard deal. But that Longview was fun. It was a good cook-off, and I'm glad I went.
Yeah, it was fun, no doubt. Yeah, I'm like you. I don't go to a competition saying I'm going to go just so I can finish, second or third or fourth or fifth. I go there to win it. I think we all do. The likelihood of that happening is, it may not happen, but I'm not going there to lose. I'm going there to do my best. So, and that just came from when I was, racing. I mean, of course, racing was a little different. We knew we had a badass car, and I wasn't too worried. I mean, if things roll well the way it is, I mean, it's heads up racing. Let's go race, and we're going to do pretty well. So we were pretty dang confident on stuff like that. This is so judgmental, you just never know. So, but I remember Lee Hickle told me, he said, I don't go to lose, I go to win.
Yep.
And I think it's right. You got to have a game plan of what are you going to do, what are you going to try. And, like this week, I mean, I keep up like really good detailed notes with every single thing that I do. I'm going to my 130th competition. I've got notes for every single one of them of what I've done, what my recipes are, so I can go back and look at I'm talking about every single detail of every single thing that I did. And I can go back and like, okay, I'm going now back to a 2017, 2018 recipe that I did on a chicken. I'm trying to do something with chicken. I want something it's what I've been doing is just at the bottom of the pack. So I don't ever practice. I cooked one today because I hadn't cooked that chicken in, I don't know, 3 years. And I don't remember even what it tasted like. So I tasted it today and I was like, you know what? That's been the recipe. I'm going to do something. I come up with off the wall crap, but I'm going to find out if this off the wall crap that I'm tried today or going to do, I tasted it and then I made adjustments to the recipe. It's off the wall, and it's either going to hit or it's Marksville though. That's a bad place to do it. So, but I don't know. You've got to have confidence, and I think what you just said, you have to have a game plan going in. I've got a game plan. I've got everything. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Everything's ready. Go out with confidence and do your best, and that's all you can do. So, Danny, can I borrow your phone? No, you can't. No. Oh, goodness gracious. That's hilarious.
So every time I run a new recipe, I write it down. It's measured out. Tablespoons, teaspoons, cups, whatever that measurement's going to be, So I've got on my notepad, I've got chicken, I've got rib, I've got brisket. My rib and my pork are usually the same, but sometimes I want to try something new. I make sure that just to add that to the pork side of things. Right. And I'll write the date. The town, and then the recipe itself, and then I will write down first place, 180, whatever it is. I'll write those things down because I want to know. I can't tell you that everything's going to be the same because if you had recipes before 20, then those may not be as influential today as they were back in before 20. Yep. But I'm noticing that some things are coming back into style that we did pre-COVID and some pre-COVID recipes. So if you're struggling, I told some guys this weekend, if you're struggling on what you got going on, go back to your notes. If you even took notes, and go back to pre-COVID, to pre-February of 20, and what were you running back then? What were you running back in 18, 19, 20, and see what that was, and maybe try to throw that at them because I think the flavors are coming back. People's taste buds are coming back. They're wanting more salt, they want more sweet, they want more spice, and so I think those are happening, and so I'm playing with that, and it's paid off for me this year. Going back to my pre recipes, and it's making a run. And so I'm just like, you know what? Maybe that time has come where COVID has finally kicked the bucket a little bit to where now the judges are kind of wanting that extra pop of flavor, that extra spice or heat or whatever it is you were putting in there. So definitely backtrack a little bit and see what you did because I started cooking in 15 with the family, but in all honesty, 16 is when I actually got serious about competition barbecue. I was just traveling, doing one, hanging out with the family. So in 16, I started, so I only had like 4 years worth of recipes to put down there before everything kind of went to crap. So
right.
But I do think you can revisit your old notes pre-COVID, and you might find out that you might have some good luck with that, unless you've been running that this whole time. And then if you're not doing any good, you just got to change it up. But it's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I think people don't realize. I think in certain areas, certain recipes do very well, right? I mean, and they stay pretty consistent, especially like South Louisiana and stuff like that. They don't like a lot of spice. They don't like a lot of heat. You would think they would, but they don't. They want more blander food down there. And so a good example was like Bow Bridge, Louisiana. It was a 2-year-old event. We was going back for our 3rd year. Well, year 1, I had a 3rd place brisket, had a 10th place rib. Year 2, I had a 2nd place rib, and my brisket went from 3rd to 14th. And I was like, man, so I'm coming into it this year, and I'll go back and I'll look at my notes. Okay, what did I do on my rib that went from 10th to 3rd? What was a new recipe? And I was like, okay, I'm going to cook that exact recipe. It got me a 2nd place rib. And I went and I looked at what I had on brisket. Well, I had a 3rd place brisket. It fell to 14th. It was 14th, or it was 3rd, and then it went to 14th. Well, what happened? Well, I looked at my notes. Man, I added a lot more salt to it. I put way more rub on it. I measure all my rubs out. I mean, people think, you're crazy. Okay, crazy. I measure all my stuff out. Well, I saw that what I did. I was like, man, what the heck? I had a 3rd place, and I go in and I put a whole lot more flavor to it, and it went to 14. So I went right back to that recipe that I did when I had a 3rd. I go down there, I had a 2nd place rib again, so back-to-back 2nd, and I had a 2nd place brisket. So keeping up with notes, I tell people all the time, is very, very important. It may not always work, but most of the time it does. And you can kind of see in certain areas there's certain things that people like, there's certain things that they don't like. So, let's see, Stephen Pitcock, what do you do with that chicken leg again? So you grab the thigh and you grab that leg.
Hold your hand like this. Hold
Yeah,
your hand
that's
like
it.
this.
There you go. You grab that leg and you just take that leg and you crack it. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Hold the thigh and then grab that leg and crack it.
Or you can poke it.
Or you can poke it. That's what you do. And you'll
You
hear
do-
it pop.
You
You do both. That's right. You do both.
You do both.
Crack it and then you poke
Crack
it.
it.
Crack it. You crack it.
Pop it. I call it the pop and poke. You pop it and you poke it. You know? But I don't. But you can't do it raw. It has to be done when it's cooking.
Yeah.
Because everything swells up and all that the fluids move in. You got to poke it when it's cooking, and that way almost when it's finished. You know.
Yep. That's it.
But yeah, I mean that's a tough deal to teach people, and people like popping that leg. You know, Arnie Segovia showed me that, I remember doing that. I was like, man, that's a pretty good thing to do, because I wasn't doing it, but I'd also had like probably 20 or 25 first place chickens at that year. So I mean, it was like me and Tommy Smith were going back and forth. So I mean, it was tough, but I was like, well, that's a good technique. And then it never slowed down, but it just stayed the same. So I'm not going to change nothing.
So what year was that? 25 first place. You want to share that recipe? That was probably pre-COVID. You got that recipe just real quick?
Yeah, I'll give it to you one day.
Okay. Oh, goodness gracious, Jamie, where you cooking at next, man?
It's Marina Village in Trinity, Texas. Right
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. Lake Livingston.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful
Okay.
place. Just private campground kind of thing, RV hookups and all that. So
Yeah.
it's 30 minutes up the road for us, so it's a no-brainer.
Oh, that's
So-
that makes it nice when you got a short one.
Tammy said that's where I want to go. So
Yeah, that's where you
Pop and
go.
lock. I like it, Bill. I like
Pop
it.
and lock. That's it.
Pop and lock.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we're gonna
goodness.
stay on the IBCA trail till the end of the points year.
Okay,
And,
so
Then we're
is that
free
what,
agents.
do you mainly cook IBCA or have you done any
I
CBS?
have been the last 2 years. Yeah, I mean, December I got on the CBA bandwagon, had a big time. I love hearing the songs.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
lot of fun.
no doubt. What about you, Aaron? Where you cooking next, man? You've been blazing the trails.
This weekend's a CBA in Andrews, Texas. Jess Salcedo, great promoter. So we'll go out there and play with the Carnies. We'll knock it out, and then the last weekend of the month, it's on the fence right now, but there's a couple of them there that I want to go to. I just haven't decided. I just look at my schedule. When can I leave, and
Right.
how far can I go before I get there? But I'll be in Andrews next weekend. It's another state championship, so.
There you go.
I think last year we did. I think I was top 5, and then we went to a rolling double. So went to Lubbock the following day on Sunday, and I GC'd that one. Forever's reserve, and so I mean it's kind of it's a good West Texas cook-off. We don't really have to go very far,
Right.
Which I'm excited. I'm kind of excited about, but at the same time, it's I just want to go cook.
Right.
So
Do y'all have many cook-offs around you in Midland, Texas?
I'm going to say that within a West Texas region, right? So everything's 5 hours from us.
Wow.
Like Amarillo is 3.5 to 4, depending on how fast you're driving. El Paso's 5. Del Rio, Eagle Pass, that's all 5. So we have about this is all sanctioning bodies. We're gonna average somewhere around 18 cook-offs a year out here.
Wow.
So you got to pick and choose or drive.
Right.
So when you start driving, that's when you start figuring out what you know and what you don't know.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I like to stay on I-20 as much as possible.
Yeah, I like interstate.
I-20 takes good care of me no matter where I go. But
absolutely.
it's when I hit that I-10, it's when it kind of throws me on a curveball here and there.
Yeah, I don't know what they want down there.
it's that taco country versus burrito country. You know, it's
That's it.
it's that wishy washy section. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. That West Texas Trail is a long one. Yeah, it is. Man, you get out that far, it's like, golly, the next town is how far? So all it is freaking dirt. Where's the green
Yeah, it's
at? Where's the green and
about
trees?
40. You're about 40. You're about 30 to 45 minutes every town.
Hey,
Yeah,
And that's and not talking about traffic. I'm just talking about a town.
Town,
Like to
yeah.
get there 80 miles an hour, it's like 30 minutes away, 40 minutes
yeah.
away.
I got a question for Aaron.
All right.
So how often you get to cook on that old Jambo? The one you brought
So
to
my
Louisiana?
gear
Yeah.
pit.
Yeah.
I used to cook on it more, but right now because of my trailer and how far we drive, I don't like to sleep in my truck.
Yeah.
That was 3 days, Jamie. You know, I mean, Jamie was there too. I was like in my front seat, my tailbone hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
it was. But I had a little heater in my floorboard. But honestly, I'll probably cook on it 2 or 3 times a year, and that's about it. Everywhere I go, I need my trailer, and I don't have to mess with the climates and the stuff in the wind. But I will
Right.
use it if I need to. Here in about a month, I'll be dragging it down, and then I'll go find somewhere to cook, and I'll have to load my truck up. But I will. You know, I love cooking on that gear pit, 26-inch. Man, it's got adjustable damper in the back, so I mean, I really love that thing. It's a little special design that Jamie did for probably one of the well-known cooks in KCBS, and I'm going to who passed away on us, but I'm going to say probably 3 to 5 times a year at the most.
There you go. There you
It seems to do you well.
go. Yeah.
I love
No
it.
doubt.
I love that cook.
Yeah.
I love that pit. The airspace chamber of that Jambo versus the firebox. It gives you the way he designs it, more cubic inches in your firebox, more cubic inches in your chamber. But the way that those combinations work, it's like you can tell which ones do really good and which ones like are a little slower. You know,
Yeah.
a little bit more air mass. And so my 30-inch by far is the best Jambo I've ever cooked on.
Yeah.
Just hands down. I can't shake a stick at it. I love that thing. That's it's beautiful. But yeah, that gear pit that I got is it'll be about 5 times a year. It just sits there and looks pretty under awning. You know, that's about
That's
it.
it. That's
I
it.
get people that still ask me, "Oh, how many Jambos do you have?" I said, "Not as many as Aaron."
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I've sold a few in the last month or so. So I mean, it's kind of I think I had 9 at one time.
Oh crap!
And-
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I looked up there one day. I started counting. I was like,
That's retirement money.
one. Well, technically, that's what I was kind of. I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I started counting. I started adding it up. I was like, damn, that's 50, 60. Oh, okay. Well, we might want to tone that back a little bit. So that every time I hit the stock market, I'd call it another Jambo. So when I do good in the stock market, I think Phil Breeden called me one day. He said something like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" I said, "Shit, I just get some some stock I was on, man." I said, "That sucker's just climbing." He goes, "You making good money?" I said, "A couple of Jambos," and he's like, "Really?" And then so I jumped on there when I said that. You know how you say something out loud and it becomes like, you know. So I
Yeah.
jumped on there real quick and I sold that break even point. So you know, and that's how I make my stock market deal. It's another Jambo. You know, if I make any
Wow.
money, yeah, another Jambo. So
Yeah.
that's what I was doing back when I was playing the market. But that's
So
I-
he made money in the stock market, and now he's buying these Jambos that he could probably sell at 20 or 30% markup because there's such a weight.
I'll be honest with you. I don't make money on the Jambos. I break even. So, and I'll tell every cook that I buy one from, and then I buy the pit from them. I'll fix it up, do whatever cleaning up needs to be. But the one thing I tell these guys is this is what I have in it.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is Jamie calls me his Jambo pimp. So
Yeah.
the only thing that I can tell you is that I go buy the pit and my expenses to go get that and come back. It's what I sell it for.
Right.
I'm not trying to make money. What I'm trying to do is share the love of barbecue pit that I enjoy. And you
Right.
can't always be in Houston and get one out of West Texas or Oklahoma. But if I'm traveling there, I can load it up and bring it back. So that's my goal. You know, it's kind of
Right.
one of those things.
One has a great return, the others of the stock market. Yep, that's for sure.
I figure if you can keep it and make a little money off of it, or you can keep it and make a good deal, well then,
Yeah.
you know, there's one in Georgia right now that's got my eyes on for a backyard.
good
I'm
Lord.
thinking you know, I'll be up there in June, so I'm thinking I might just drive up there and grab it if he wants to hold on to that long and I could fix it up and really sell that one. So
Yeah, that's funny.
uh,
So the idea is to make your money cooking on them.
That's it.
that's it. That's it.
That's it.
I'm not. I just want to spread the love of a good pit. That's all I
That's
want to
it.
do.
They are good
Sure is that.
pits. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, we've had a great night tonight. If anybody's got any other questions, which we ain't had a lot, Jamie, you got any sponsors that you'd like to thank, brother?
Yes, my wife. My
Yeah.
wife, she's a
Yeah. Good answer.
she's the sponsor.
That's right.
Sitting over here smiling at me now.
Yeah.
I heard that's his rub supplier.
That's
His
it.
brisket rub supplier.
Yeah.
Well, when I shagged off of her and got her brisket recipe, and it turned my brisket around. So
There you go.
I'll give her credit, but I can't get the rib recipe from her. Just we'll talk later.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to some good friends. I found that this sport, this activity we do, you meet people that that you'll know forever. And Randall Kendrick, Jason Miller, Robert Smith, Aaron. All of you guys have treated us like normal people. You get involved in certain activities where the upper echelons will look down their noses to you, and I don't get that here. Everybody is an open book. All you got to do is ask. So many folks like we were for a long time that didn't want to ask or didn't want to approach anybody. But once we found out that we could, it was amazing. These folks are truly good people. So
That's good. That's good. Well, man, we wish you all the success in the world. Keep rolling. And we always love watching you out cooking, man. It's always a joy to cook with you. Aaron, what you got going on, brother?
As far as shout outs go, man, just me, myself, and my company, Texas Oil Dust itself. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm doing on the backside right now that I've got a lot of activities happening. But I couldn't do this at Midland Meat Company. Midland Meat Company is hands down the best thing that ever happened to me. Working for those guys, being a part of that family and that circle, but being able to cook that beef and all over the state and the country. So those two right there, that have really done us well. There's a lot of people in between there that I've used, a lot of tools I've used, and knives, and I could be like the whole, let me shout out to everything that I've ever used in my life, but I'm not going to, because I consistently ride for the brand, and the brand is my company, Midland Meat Company, and the good Lord. So that's those three things right there. The family, I got great family support. They know that I'm gone on the weekends, but they know I have a goal, and I've got a bucket list travel of things I want to do, and so they stay right there with me. So it's kind of
Right.
no matter how much I'm not there at the house on the weekends, my family still supports me 100%. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That is awesome. Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed it, guys. We certainly do appreciate y'all taking the time to be with us tonight. It's always great to hear everybody's journey and what they've got cooking and everything else. Literally cooking. And you two guys have been on fire and doing very well. So we're really, really thankful and continued success throughout the rest of this cooking year. I hope everybody's enjoyed our show tonight. It's always a pleasure to us to have visitors join us, and we are certainly glad for our loyal listeners. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your week, and y'all go out there, have a lot of fun,